Ah, Tom and Jerry. That wholesome childhood cartoon where a cat tries to commit rodent homicide for our amusement. We laughed. We cheered. We threw popcorn at the screen, completely ignoring the fact that Jerry lives in a psychological torture simulator. Every episode starts the same way. Jerry's just vibing. Maybe he's stealing cheese. Maybe he's dancing. Then, boom, here comes Tom, armed with mouse traps, explosives, and emotional damage. But here's the thing. This isn't a rivalry. It's a lifestyle of fear. Jerry wakes up every day knowing today might be the day he gets flattened by a piano. He doesn't clock in. He doesn't get paid. His entire job is to not die for 7 minutes straight. And sure, he wins most of the time. But you know what's worse than losing? Winning. And realizing the game resets tomorrow. Jerry isn't a hero. He's a prisoner of slapstick purgatory. His only reward: cheese. A food literally designed to lure his species into death traps. That's not a treat. That's poetic irony. So yeah, when people say, "I wish I could live in a cartoon," remember this. Jerry's living that dream, and it's a nightmare, dressed in a laugh track. Every day, Jerry wakes up in the same house. The same sounds. The clinking of dishes, the heavy footsteps of humans. And somewhere in the distance, Tom's claws scraping the floor. It's like Groundhog Day. If Groundhog Day included concussions and property damage. Jerry's existence isn't a story. It's a rerun of suffering, aired since 1940. He doesn't evolve. He doesn't grow. There's no arc, just a circle drawn by animators who also lost faith in time. Every chase ends with screaming, explosions, chaos. And then, poof, next episode, everything's magically fine again. It's cosmic gaslighting. Jerry's world resets, but the pain doesn't. Somewhere, his tiny mouse brain remembers. The traps, the frying pans, Tom's face before the hammer drops. You can't tell me a creature that builds complex death machines doesn't know he's trapped. He's not fighting for fun. He's fighting for meaning in a world that forgot what continuity is. He's stuck in a trauma loop. Every victory reinforces his paranoia. Winning the battle just means tomorrow's another war. And the cruelest part? The audience loves it. We call it comedy. He calls it Monday. Let's talk about Jerry's mental health, because it's the most fragile thing in the house. If he ever saw a therapist, the session would last 3 minutes. Then the therapist would quietly leave the room to scream into a pillow. We're talking chronic anxiety, hypervigilance, nightmares, classic PTSD. Except for Jerry, there's no post. The trauma never stops long enough to become a memory. Every noise could mean death. A creaking floorboard, a broom, or worse, Tom humming in the distance. That's not background music. That's his nervous system begging for retirement. He lives in permanent alertness, eyes darting like he's trapped in a horror movie no one told him he's in. And his comfort? Cheese. Not therapy, not closure, just lactose and adrenaline. Psychologically speaking, Jerry's life is a study in resilience, or insanity. He's the case study Freud refused to publish. His survival instincts are superhuman. He doesn't sleep. He recharges out of spite. His smiles? Pure performance. His joy? Manufactured by cruel gods with pencils. And still, he runs. Because the only thing scarier than being chased by Tom is realizing what happens when Tom finally stops. People love to say, "At least Jerry always wins," as if that's comforting. If winning means your life resets every day, congratulations. You're not victorious. You're animated Sisyphus. Every so-called victory is just another round of torment. Tom gets crushed, humiliated, electrocuted, fade to black. Then, next episode, everyone's fine. No trauma, no bills, no consequences. Jerry's victories are illusions. They exist to make us feel like justice exists. But he's never any safer. He's like a gladiator who survives every match, only to be thrown back into the arena because the crowd loves the show. That smug grin? It's not confidence. It's the 1,000-yard stare of someone who knows the universe refuses to let him rest. In a healthy world, winning ends the conflict. In Jerry's world, it resets the clock. And sometimes, Jerry's the villain. He torments Tom for fun, because power is all he has left. A trauma victim turned tyrant, lashing out at the only other soul trapped with him. So next time you cheer when Jerry wins, remember, he's not celebrating. He's coping. Everyone blames Tom. Poor, dumb Tom. The cat just doing his job. But what if Tom isn't the villain? He's just another pawn. The real villain is the writer's room, the animators, the executives, the invisible gods who decided eternal suffering was good for ratings. Tom and Jerry don't choose violence. Violence chooses them. Some unseen hand drags them out of bed, paints smiles on their faces, and scripts another episode of pain. They're not characters. They're employees of chaos. Every explosion, every chase, every scream. It's not instinct. It's direction. Faster, funnier, louder. That's not advice. That's a commandment. And we, the audience, are complicit. We call it nostalgia. We call it classic. But it's really cruelty with jazz music. The MGM lion roars. A proud announcement that somewhere pain is about to become entertainment. That roar isn't a logo. It's a scream. Tom isn't the monster. He's the co-worker stuck in the same nightmare shift. They don't hate each other. They hate their contract. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Jerry isn't just a cartoon mouse. He's us. We think we're the audience, safe on the couch, but we're running too. Running from deadlines, bills, expectations. Our lives are just cleaner versions of slapstick. Less explosions, more existential dread. Jerry's panic mirrors ours. He fights for cheese. We fight for validation. He outsmarts a cat. We outsmart burnout. He wins. And then it starts again. The loop never ends because we don't let it. We crave the same chaos that's killing us. We rewatch our own misery because it's familiar. Maybe that's why we love Tom and Jerry. It's comforting to see someone else suffer like we do, just with funnier sound effects when Jerry stops and stares into the chaos. That's not a gag. That's awareness. A flicker of, oh God, is this all there is? But he keeps running. So do we. Because stopping means admitting the chase is the only thing keeping us going. Yes, Jerry is trapped. But he's not alone. We're all tiny mice, sprinting toward cheese that keeps moving further away. And so, as the credits roll and the jazz fades out, Jerry stands victorious once again, bruised, twitching, still smiling. Another battle won, another war waiting off screen. He looks at Tom, half buried in rubble, and you can almost hear him think, "See you tomorrow, buddy." It's tragic, not because of the violence, but because both of them still believe this will end, that maybe one day they'll be free, but they won't. The rerun will air. The cycle will reset. The audience will laugh. Jerry will wake up to the same wallpaper, the same squeaky floor, the same gnawing déjà vu. He'll smile. He always does. Because when your life is pain disguised as playtime, smiling is the only rebellion left. And maybe that's the real joke. In some twisted way, Jerry knows. He knows we're watching. He knows we need him to keep running, so we don't have to think about our own loops. So he plays his part. He dances, he schemes. He suffers, and when the lights go down, he whispers to the void, "Good night, Tom. Same time tomorrow." The audience laughs. The screen fades to black, and somewhere deep inside the cartoon universe, a tiny mouse screams silently under the sound of applause.